Hi, this is Andy Teach, host of Andy's Awesome Adventures, and welcome to Amsterdam. Why are you shaking the camera like that? Oh my God. You are fired. Hi, I'm Andy Teach, host of Andy's Awesome Adventures, and welcome to Amsterdam. We are here in Dam Square, damn it. So let's talk about how Amsterdam got its name. And it had to do with Dam Square. In this area, the Amstel River ran, and they dammed it up so they can divert the water to certain places and then build houses on top of those places. It used to be called Amsterdam, and eventually it became Amsterdam. Let me address my fellow Americans who think that Holland is a country or a nation. It is not. Amsterdam is in Holland, that is true. But the country, the nation that Amsterdam is a part of is the Netherlands. And Holland makes up 2 of the 12 provinces in the Netherlands. So we are here in Amsterdam, we are here in Holland, and we are also here in the Netherlands. So in back of me is the Royal Palace of Amsterdam, and this is the official reception palace of King Willem-Alexander. It was actually closed the last few days for some royal events, but thankfully at the end of our trip, we're here on a weekend, it is open again. So we are doing a tour later on today, so we're really excited about that.
Now, before we hear more about the Royal Palace and see the rest of Dam Square, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Alertbot. Alertbot is a website monitoring service that gives you peace of mind when you travel. If your website crashes or your customers have trouble accessing your pages, Alertbot will notify you of the issue so you can quickly fix the problem. Alertbot's clients include many Fortune 500 companies, including IBM, Sony, Disney, Chrysler, Travelocity, and MGM Resorts, to name a few. Check out their website at alertbot.com. There's a link in the video description. You can try this service for 14 days free. Use promo code AndysAwesome20 to save 20% on any monthly or annual plan you sign up for.
So the Royal Palace was originally built as a city hall for the magistrates of Amsterdam, and the first section opened in 1655. And actually Napoleon's brother became King of Holland in 1806. Now, the way this government works here in the Netherlands, they've had a constitutional monarchy since 1815 and a parliamentary democracy since 1848. The Prime Minister, his name is Mark Rutte or Rutte, not sure, but he's been the Prime Minister since 2010, and he's been the longest running Prime Minister in the history of the Netherlands. So basically, the King and his ministers make up the government, and the ministers are responsible for the acts of government and for decision making, but the monarch appoints the ministers. So it kind of reminds me a little bit of Great Britain, England, you know, when you have the king and queen, still have a democracy, but you do have the monarchy as well. So another highlight of Dam Square is the Nieuwe Kerk, or the new church, which is over here. And it was dedicated in 1409. So it's not really new, but the reason they call it new is because there's also the old church, and they're trying to distinguish the two, but they're both several hundred years old. So maybe they should have called it the newer church. They use it mostly for exhibitions these days, and I want to go inside and take a tour, but I'm not sure we can do that if we have to just see the exhibition, so we're going to find out.
Now that we've seen the Royal Palace and the Nieuwe Kerk, let's see the rest of Dam Square. Here is the 4-story Rijksbureau de Stadsperwegen building, which was built in 1915, and there's a cafe on the ground floor. Next is Swarovski jewelry, then H&M clothing store, then Dior, the French fashion and accessories boutique. If you look down the Damrak, which is one of the main streets here, you can see the Centraal train station. On this corner is the Bijenkorf, an upscale Dutch department store which was built in 1914, and the Majestic restaurant is next door, which is part of an office and apartment building. We then come to the National Monument, which we'll visit in a minute. Behind the National Monument is the Grand Hotel Krasnopolski, which was built in 1865. On this corner is a building housing the Hotel 27, a small luxury all-suite hotel. The building was originally built in 1916. The building to the left is the Ripley's Believe It or Not attraction. And before we're back at the Royal Palace, here is the Madame Tussauds Wax Museum, which is located in the Peek and Kloppenburg Retailers Building, which was completed in 1917. I mentioned that we would visit the National Monument, and here we are.
Okay, what we're looking at here is another highlight of Dam Square. And this is the National Memorial Statue. It was built in the memory of the Dutch soldiers and members of the resistance who died in World War II. It was unveiled in 1956. So the monument actually stores soil from all of the Netherlands provinces as well as from the Dutch East Indies. And you see here there are 4 chained figures, chained male figures. And there's 2 male sculptures that represent members of the Dutch resistance. There's 1, there's 2. There's also weeping dogs. And a depiction of the woman with a child and doves flying above. So again, this is the National Memorial Statue. And there's some inscriptions in the back we're going to check out. Here are the doves. And in case you're not aware, the Nazis occupied Amsterdam and the Netherlands during World War II. But the Dutch resistance fought back. So this is a very important monument to the people of Amsterdam and the Netherlands. And across the way, another great view.
Now before we leave, I wanted to show you one more example of beautiful Dutch architecture, which is located just outside Dam Square.
This is Magna Plaza. It's a shopping center in a beautiful building.